As time ticks down, the horn sounds. Three Ice Boston. They have claimed the final playoff spot in the Patrick Cup playoffs.
Welcome to a very special edition, the Larry and Big Man Show. I'm Larry Richert, host of the KDK Morning News in Pittsburgh. Two-time Stanley Cup champion at Sportsnet hockey analyst. That's Jay Caufield. Jay.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Rourke Automotive Group and also Dave Rourke, that is, and Tom Grillish with Henderson Brothers. Thank you very much, guys. And also, Larry?
Yeah, Zero Res Commercial will tell you how you can use a special promo code ONETEAM15. Speaking of one team, want to thank Brian Hess and his team, Mark Connington, producing. Three Ice. This league is really starting to take off. They're in week 4, Jay, as you know.
Yep.
We're going to carry every week the storyline, and you're going to do some of your spectacular illustrations.
Yeah.
Coming up.
We're going to pull some of the goals from the championship game and take a look at them and just the little finer points about it if we can do it. But it's been a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, you always hear me talk about Pittsburgh connections. So this whole league was started with Pittsburgh guys and is still operated by E.J. Johnston, the son of the great Eddie Johnston, who is the current CEO. Craig Patrick involved since the very beginning as a commissioner.
Championship trophy named after it, right?
Yeah, so
true.
So it's special for Pittsburgh, yet I'm sure there are a lot of hardened Penguin fans that don't realize all these connections and the fact that Three Ice is really making headway.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it a lot, Larry, about how we love 3-on-3 in the NHL, and I think one of the keys was that they go all out for 5 minutes. So it's a 5 minute. And it takes a toll on the players that are expected to be in that role. Three Ice is taking it where they have 2 8-minute periods, and you better be in shape. You better be ready to go. And Larry Murphy's one guy. I mean, look, the coaches that they have alone. You were just saying the coaches, Hall of Famers, Stanley Cup winners. What a blessing for the young guys that are playing it to learn from them, and everybody's all involved and really engaged in what it's all about. And like you said, it's only growing. In Olympics and things like that might not be too far in the future. So it's a great sport to watch. And
well, we got to wait 3.5 years for the next Winter Olympics. I think by then you'll notice big changes.
Yeah.
And
because it is making the world, they're doing it, worldwide now, right? So, yep.
And you have great relationship with Larry Murphy.
Yeah.
Played here with the Pittsburgh Penguins, part of a Stanley Cup championship, and also Hockey Hall of Famer. Still doing broadcasting, still coaching. He's doing it all.
He's awesome. No, Larry Murphy has been, and it's something I'll have to ask him, but I don't think there was ever anybody when he was so calm at the point. He was that good. He just did it in his own way. His personality reflects him. But again, he played 1,600 plus games. Over 200 games in the playoffs, 4 Stanley Cups, 2 with Penguins and 2 with Detroit. But a great guy. So great teammate.
So without further ado, he is the head coach of Three Ice's Minnesota team. Please welcome Larry Murphy. Larry, it's Larry. Great to meet you officially. Thank you for the time.
Well, you're also being Larry, I'll make it much easier for me because I struggle with names, of course. But no one's going to forget the big man's name, Jay. So, but
good call. Absolutely,
Murph. So good to have you on the show, big man. We really, really appreciate it. Not only Stanley Cup winner, but 4-time Stanley Cup winner. The calmest defenseman I've ever seen at the point to keep a puck in and never look like he ever panics. Murph, I've never seen anybody better at keeping the puck inside the line than you. Phenomenal.
Well, yeah, I just it wasn't by design by any means. I guess you hopefully succeed in some areas of the game, and that was one area. It's kind of a slippery slope because you always, as you well know, there's a point where you got to bail out and give it up. But I mean that was the key. So if you just made the right decision and just fortunate, hey, I just go out there and play. That's I think play the best of my ability, and that was one area that seemed to fall into place for me.
Oh yeah,
and you could tell, and the guys we talked to that have the passion for the game, but you keep that going. And Three Ice isn't all you've been doing either, Coach.
Well, yeah, I've done Three Ice, and of course, living in Detroit, I've worked with the Red Wings telecast, so it's just a bit of a change for them now. as you guys well know, the industry. It's now a Detroit Sports Network, something new. So we'll find out how that works this season. But yeah, very fortunate to coach in 3 Ice, a tremendous product. I've had 4 seasons of the Summer Pro League, so it's something that kind of fell in my lap. I'm kind of going off on a tangent here. Craig Patrick actually that came up to me at one of Mario's camps and asked me if that was something, coaching was something that interested me. And I said, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And it's been a great decision. I feel I'm so glad I did it.
Yeah. Coach of the year in 2023. I look at it, we've talked to everybody we've talked to, Murph, is that, from the coaches that you have, you imagine a young player, imagine like if you were young and who they're being coached by, Hall of Famers, Stanley Cup winners, and the care factor that you guys have for the players in the game, you can't. We've said it before. You can't put a price tag on what you're offering these young men that are playing the game and who still have the dream to try and, everybody. You never lose that. I don't think you ever. If you're playing a game, you still think you have hope that you can make it one day to the NHL.
Yeah.
But you provide so much of that, Murph.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic, the way it played out for me, the whole experience. Now, yeah, we have these young pros come in. A lot of them play in the ECHL or the or American Hockey League or Sweden, Finland, throughout Europe. U.S. citizens, though, for this league. And the league has put together a real high quality product. And for me, it's an interesting, the dynamic which really surprised me about going in was, I'll try to do a good job. Let's see if it's fun. Let's see what the product's like. But what it turned out for me it was something where I felt a lot of pressure to give these guys that come in, and they come in and they play their hearts out. You want to give them the tools or the direction to give them a chance to win. And that's something that I really enjoy about it is, this is a lot of pressure. Players and the coaches throughout. I'm sure you're going to hear that from all the guys. You want to win, but you just want to make sure you don't let these guys down because they come in and they play. They come prepared. It's an opportunity to make money through success, and they come in and a lot of at different times they'll ask you questions about your career, and of course these are guys that are on their way up and always looking for advice. So the whole package together has really made it a tremendous experience.
You know what I could find one. Murph, and I love the idea that it's the young guys coming up, but we could see this happening in the future of guys that maybe just retired from the NHL that still want to play the game too, right? I think that's gonna probably start to happen as well. So it might be a blend. You know how it is, right, Murph? You can see guys with legs who can still wheel that are going to want to still be a part of it. I could see it even evolving even more like that as you move forward.
Yeah, that's a direction that I think the league wants to go in. But the thing is, though, you can't have a guy that's might have a distinguished long NHL career, but if he's been out of the game for a couple of years, he can't play at that pace.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So getting guys, I would love to see guys that just coming off their NHL career step into it. Of course, they'll be very successful at it. I also like to think that there's EJ, Eddie Johnson's son, is the CEO of the league. But I mean, we're spitballing here. I would love to see young players that are just drafted. It's a great training tool, a great conditioning tool, because we only have 6 forwards, and that's what I hammer on the guys. As soon as teams drafted, I get right on them and say, listen, you better show up in shape, because I've got 6 skaters. I've got to play everybody. And if you're out of condition, those other 5 skaters and goaltender are going to be looking at you saying, you're the one that let us down. So they play. It's a 16-minute game, but I assure you they come out of it, anybody that plays in it, and it's a lot more taxing than a regular season game that they've ever experienced.
I've always felt too, as Larry and I talked about this on our show, the 3-on-3 for 5 minutes in the NHL to me can be some of the best 5 minutes you're going to watch, right? Because it's the elite, the best, and it's balls out, that phrase, balls out, because that's what it is. You have to be that way, but there's a lot of regrouping sometimes like that, but still, talent on talent, Murph. I kind of agree with what you said. They're training. You're training anytime. What you're doing in the off season would be a great way to do it. But I do find that 3-on-3 for 5 minutes can be the best. I think you found a great way in the league, as Larry and I said. 2 8-minute periods is not a bad way, because you can tell when somebody's tired. It's so obvious, and it just stands out. You're straight-legged, and usually a great opportunity from that, Murph, right?
Spot on, Jay. That's what I like the NHL 3-on-3. I think the 3-ice rules have actually improved that concept. They've taken it. There's only one face-off. It's each half starts each half. It's a face-off. After that, it's score a goal, pucks pulled out of the net. The other team clears the zone, play on. It's just go, go, go. Hits the mesh behind the glass, falls down on the ice. It's play on. You can't take the puck into the zone, and this is what we see a lot of times eaten up in the NHL 3-on-3, where a team will take it into the zone and then decide to circle back into their own zone. Well, with the 3-ice league, you're not allowed to do that. You can't bring it back over the center line, which I would love to see that rule somehow implemented. The thing is, though, for 3-ice, all it is you give up possession of the puck. The other team gets it because you did that. But I don't know how the NHL will handle that. But I like the continuous flow of 3-on-3. It's 3-ice. It's relentless. But I'm with you, Jay, on I love everybody's excited because it's the guys with the skill, boy. Just the cream rises to the crop for those 5 minutes in the National Hockey League, and it's exciting. I got to be honest. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the shootout. I mean, you got to figure out a way to end the game some way. But, boy, I wish they had the ability to extend that 5 minutes just to give them a chance to find a winner.
It'll be interesting to see because, to your point, both of you gentlemen, it's so exciting for the fans. I know if I'm out and about and the Penguins are playing it, they're going to overtime. I can't wait to try to find a way to watch it. And then if they could just change the rules a little to mirror some of what you're doing in 3-ice, I think it would be a tremendous enhancement.
Yeah, I know. And also kind of just to go off topic here a little bit, what's interesting is the Olympics now. It's coming. It's coming. It's worked for basketball. Hockey, they're going to be able to fill arenas with 3-on-3 hockey in the Olympics. So that's it's money drives business even for the Olympics, and they could add a sport like that. And it'd be interesting to see, Larry. You're talking about massaging the rules. I mean, see what the Olympic Committee decides to do. But we're gonna see that. I guarantee you, it's coming. Of course, not the next Olympics, but Winter Olympics, probably the following one.
And Murph, you can rifle through the games. If you got 2 8-minute, the clock's running, you could really fly through it pretty quickly, and that wouldn't be, the setting would be perfect. I agree with you. I also truly agree. I do think they should add a few minutes to the 5, to the OT. Just go ahead and go to 7. Do something, because it's going to happen inside. The entertainment level, it's just better. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hockey's evolving. It's without a doubt, and we saw it when 3-on-3 came into the NHL. I mean, what a great boost it gave the league. I felt. I mean, you touched on it. You guys have touched on it, but people are, they're excited. Boy, you can see them. The clock runs down. It's a tie game. Boy, they're shuffling their seats. They're ready to see.
And by the way, Murph, too, like you mentioned it, you're kind of pretty straightforward about what you're telling your players, but the fact of the matter is, it's like you eat what you kill, because if you are, these young guys they're busting their tail all year long, whether it be in the East Coast or the American League or so on and so forth, the guy winding it down, but you make more as you're moving, you're making the money as you're moving on. Like you win each week, the league rewards teams that way. So it's the better you do, the better you're going to make, the more you're going to make.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a combination. Yeah, the guys, they I mean, you played and we got paid for it, and that was great, but I mean, it was, how lucky are you to play a game that you love passionately and you end up getting paid for it? These guys, it's a combination. Yeah, they want to go home with money in their pocket. Of course they do, especially guys that are playing in the minors. They're not collecting they don't have the big payday. So this money that they can pull guys can impact their lives. But I think right at their soul, It's all about competing, and it's all about playing this great game. And then I'm sure, Jay, you can say the same thing when you played, boy. That was that was driving force, boy. That's what got you up in the morning, got you down to the rink because you just loved playing.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, you also coached World Cup. I mean, it's been a great year for world hockey in general with the Olympics too. What was that experience like for you?
It was interesting. Our first, I was coaching Team Canada, and our first opponent was the USA. So we were fortunate. We squeezed out a victory in that one. But, I mean, it was, of course, nothing like the Olympics. I mean, what a tremendous tournament that was. And for USA Hockey, what a great accomplishment on their part. Boy, play and talk about, I mean, we can go on. If you guys have another half hour talking about how well the U.S. approached the 3-on-3 versus how Canada did. They were just they had their game plan was so much better. And even though Canada had McDavid and McKinnon out on the ice, they played it wrong. And the U.S. were so smart and waited for the opportunity. And Hughes got up in the play and made the difference. And
Murph, didn't it feel
like
to
show you 3-on-3 is not a crapshoot. You have to approach it a certain way.
Yeah, didn't you feel it? Didn't it look like Canada panicked? It looked like a panic. It was like it was like panic mode a little bit. That you're right. We talk about it's man on man. Like you're playing a pure, in a sense, defensively. Like you can look at it. It's the one time in the NHL where you look at where it's pure man on man. Right? You can man up, and then you have to be able to communicate, to switch off, whatever. But it just looked like they kind of. I said panic.
Well,
they had a bad word for it, but it's something they didn't look right where U.S. looked under control of it.
You've got to make decisions on 3-on-3 when you have the puck, and Canada made poor decisions when they had it. And also, like with 3-on-3, the one thing that really I learned about that game, and it's the same in the NHL, is I tell my players the most critical thing out there is your quickness to switch from offense to defense. You have 5-on-5, you got to be quick and you got to make decisions quick. 3-on-3, you have to transition defense like that, and you always have to have it in the back of your mind that possibility, it is going to come where you're going to be switched to defense, and you've got to make that move quickly to the defensive mode. Because if you don't, then you're giving up 2-on-1s, and if you don't manage the puck properly, like Canada did a poor job, and even though they outplayed the U.S. in the 60 minutes, they were by far the best team. They got outsmarted and outplayed in the overtime, and that cost them the gold medal.
And by the way, one thing before we go, and we have so much more. Murph, we're bringing it back on during the hockey season, but I got to say one of the biggest goals was the '87 Canada Cup. Right, I got to go. You were part of that. I mean, look at who you were on the ice with when that goal was scored. Right. I mean, just give us a little feel. That '87 Canada Cup, you've got Mario, you've got Gretzky. Murph, tell us a little bit about that before we sign off with you.
Yeah, well, it's, of course, at that '87 it was still the Soviet Union, so it was good. It was good against evil. It was the dreaded the Soviet Union, Russia. And then you had the story of Lemieux and Gretzky both playing. They're both at the top of their game, and within that, it was like a competition within the competition. Which one of those two guys would step up and be the best player? Well, I turned out that both of them were. I mean, you couldn't pick one over the other. But on that particular, I was involved in that game-winning goal.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I jumped up in the play, and it was with Mario and with Gretzky, and it turned out it was like a 3-on-1. We were in a great position. Gretzky throws the puck back to Mario, and for me, I thought for sure Mario was gonna throw the puck to me for the tap in, and the Soviet goalie actually Mario realized that. Yeah. Started leaning. He thought the play was coming to me too, and he started cheating. And Mario, of course, you can't do that to him. He picks up on it, and he ends up burying it. So, but just to be involved, I mean, that tournament was the hockey was tremendous, and what was online was tremendous, and the Soviets were great, and of course both Mario and Gretzky, boy, they came to play, and it was to see them both on the ice at the same time, boy, what a treat! What a treat!
I can't. You must have that. I'm sure that picture somewhere in the house somewhere framed up, because it's probably the greatest. It is the greatest thing. So Murph, next time we have you on, we have to make sure that we have a look at that. But we appreciate it.
The greatest. The greatest decoy in hockey.
4-time Stanley Cup champion, 3-ice Minnesota head coach, Hockey Hall of Famer, and all-around good guy. And Larry Murphy, you're on full scholarship here in Pittsburgh. You know that anytime.
Thanks, Larry, and the big man. Always, even this setting, we're sitting down having a coffee. It's always great talking to you.
And just want to take a minute to thank Zero Res Commercial. We have an opportunity, a promo code 1team15. That can save you 15% off all commercial cleaning services, carpet cleaning, hardwood, floor, tile, grout, upholstery, air duct cleaning for your business, large or small. Go to zerores.com/commercial and enter promo code 1team15.
We've had, Larry, the first 3 weeks had the winning coach and a star player from the game. This week, Larry Murphy's picking it up. Ray Bourque has his own golf tournament today, filming-wise, and he couldn't make it, so Larry filled in. Wonderful. So glad to have him on our show, which we said we will get him later on. There's a lot of big things happening with him.
Yeah,
really enjoyed it.
Fan favorite here in Pittsburgh. We'll look forward to that. And we want to introduce you to one of the players from the Week 4 championship team under the coaching of Ray Bourque, and that is Kaden Bohlsen, number 26 for Boston, and we find him in his car. Kaden?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so how's the training going right now? You got camp coming up in about a month, and you're with a good group of guys or good work you're able to put in right now?
Yeah, it's great. I've been training a lot down in Mankato where I went to college there, and the guys have been on break for the last couple weeks, but they get back actually this week, and they kind of start their training camp there. So it'll be great for me to be able to go and skate with those guys and get ready for training camp in a month or so.
Yeah, Kate, it's kind of wild because you played 1 year at Shattuck St. Mary's as a youth, and then you're up and you played in the USHL for 4 years, and you're initially at Nebraska Omaha, but when you made the move to Mankato, or Minnesota State, but in Mankato, that was the move. It was a great move for you, probably ice time, everything, but you really kind of took off in those years.
Yeah, I couldn't be more thankful for my time at Mankato. Yeah, like you said, it was one of the best decisions I've made for me in my hockey career. And Luke Strand, Troy Ward, the guys there were unbelievable. And yeah, like I said, just couldn't be any more thankful for those guys there.
It's awesome. Yep.
So, Kaden, you are in your first season with the 3-ice, 3-on-3. All we hear about is the speed, and a lot of players attribute this to giving them a leg up, literally, when they go into the regular seasons. What's your experience been like so far through Week 4?
It's been awesome. Yeah. The first couple games, it took a little bit to get used to everything. You gotta watch your shift length for sure. If you get caught out there, you're kind of screwed for a little bit, but no, it's been super fun. It's been super fun getting to know everyone, and having Bourque as your coach has been awesome. So it's been great.
Yeah, I think we've had that same theme from everybody that we've talked to. You're getting Hall of Fame guys as your coach, and I'm sure everybody's in that win mode, and everybody's serious about it to take it to a different level. And I think the talent that we're seeing on the rosters, just like I mentioned about you, you D1, you're up. Now you're in your first year pro last year, following it up again, second year. It's the level of skill that's out there. You have to be able to, you got to be a finisher, but you got to know what you're doing. I talk so much about 3-on-3 in the NHL, but it's the one time, Kaden, where it's man on man. Do you find that? Does it carry itself through on 3-ice for you and your team?
Yeah, we play quite a bit of man on man. Bourque likes to, just kind of pack it in, kind of a triangle in the D zone there. So we've been trying that out a little bit, which has been good for us. But yeah, it's great, and it's all fun.
With these coaches, to Jay's point, that are Hall of Fame NHLers, you can't help but learn things that you'll be able to carry into not only your next season, but the rest of your career. And talking to those coaches, they are really passionate about this 3-ice and can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Yeah. like you said, I mean, having Bourque as your coach is, you know, it's unbelievable just hearing some of the stories. We've been having super cool experiences. He's been able to ride in my truck back to the hotel with some of us guys. So, I mean, just hanging around him, going to dinner with him, it's been amazing to hear everything and learn some things from him for sure.
You know, Caden, too, when we're hearing from, again, we know the coaches, we know all the guys you're talking about, and when you're every shift that you take, even in 3-on-3, and I think you probably lived your life this way playing the game, but every time you're out there, you're making an impression. So we've only heard great things about from your full first year, but when you're playing that game and you do realize, as you mentioned, everything is, all eyes are on you. You're being looked at for different things, and as you go into your next year, that's where the positives can come from and what you draw from it, to Larry's point. But I really find you're out there, it's a big-time game, you're playing it at a high tempo, but you're only, with the eyes on you, it's only an opportunity for you as you go forward.
For sure, and that's kind of the way I looked at it. I mean, you get asked to play in a 3-on-3 summer league, like, I was super excited to do it, but, you know, you have all these, you know, awesome, very well-known coaches around, like, you're always kind of trying to make an impression for yourself. So, but yeah, everything's great, and it's been really fun so far.
And by the way, what part of your game, if from your standpoint, what do you like to bring to the table? When you go to Grand Rapids this year, what are you bringing to the table for Grand Rapids as you start camp?
You know, I'm just going to try and go in there and be the best power forward I can be. You know, I think I skate very well. Going to try and bring some speed, some scoring touch, and some physicality as well.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to make a difference in your game. And I would think because of the exposure you get now, we understand that the crowds, the people watching really around the world, 3Ice is about to take a big leap here into next season. Are you getting that kind of feedback?
Yeah, for sure. Everything that I've heard, they've said great things about where the league is going and where it could go. So it'll be awesome to see what happens here in the next year or so.
You know, Kaden, if you looked at the 3Ice game and now you go back, what part of the game that's, you know, the rules, maybe the penalty shot with the jailbreak type thing, but what part of that could you see the NHL or any of the minor leagues jumping on something like that? I mean, obviously 3-on-3, big time in the NHL, power play, basically the game ends when you get that opportunity. But what do you like about the 3-on-3 that you think could find its way into the NHL?
That's a good question. There's a lot of different rules that you would never think about going into it. I personally, the take back rule, where if you cross the blue line, you can't come back out of the zone and cross the red line.
Yeah.
I did that a few times, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be one that sticks out to me for sure.
You know, because, you know, when we talk about, again, covering the Penguins and what we do here, the one thing I'd rather see 3-on-3 go on for a little bit longer instead of getting to the shootout right away. I think that's what your league that you're a part of right now brings to the table. It shows what can be there. But I think that touchback, I like that rule. I agree with that part too.
Yeah, no. So we'll see if it can sneak its way into the NHL rules in the next few years. But yeah.
Well, you know, I one more thing too. When you looked at, we've talked about training, how it's evolved for all the players and over the years, and way back when guys were going to camp to get in shape. You pretty much don't take much time off, do you, anymore? Once your season ends, maybe a little break, but you got to get right back at it.
You do, yeah. For me, I usually take, you know, a good month or so away from skating for sure. And for me right now, like, I've been trying to put on some weight over the summer. So I haven't skated a ton. I know like twice a week would be probably the consistent thing I've been doing, just because I've been trying to put on weight. But definitely as it ramps up starting this week and going forward, I would like to skate more, just going into training camp and, you know, feeling good, having my legs for all that. So, but yeah, everything's been going good.
Awesome.
I'm curious, Kaden, when you got the call up to play 3Ice, who made that call?
think I got an email from just 3 Ice, and I think it said that you've been picked by Team Boston. Ray Bourque will be your coach, and obviously I was super excited for that because, Bourque's an unbelievable guy, and has been really cool to hang out with him and get feedback from him for sure.
Well, good luck with the rest of the way. Champion in week 4 and your season ahead. We appreciate the time, Kaden. Thank you.
Kaden. Listen, thanks a lot, and certainly good luck this year in Grand Rapids, and more power to you. Keep it going, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, for sure. Thank you guys for having me.
And, Jay, let's put a star by Kaden's name. Hope the best for him in his hockey future, and appreciate his time today. That said, let's take a look at some of the highlights illustrated by the one and only Big Man.
Yeah, he was a great interview, Larry. And we talked again. We're going to look at this so many times. You're going to get opportunities. If you can break down the 3-on-3 man-on-man opportunity, we'll get a look right here at the first goal of the game. So in this spot, you can see in this position, I've got Wagner right here, right? So he's holding on to the puck, and you can see where they're all manned up, right? So I'm going to peel off. I'm going to show you right here. There, man-on-man there, man-on-man. There you go. Everybody's got it covered. Watch the movement. You can see Wagner's going to try to get to the inside. Nothing there. He peels back out, and still you're manned up. This is what it looks like. There's still everybody. You want to keep the puck to the outside if you can. Once Wagner moves this puck to Singleton right here, now watch where the opportunity is going to come up. He cuts to the inside, and still, I'm telling you, you can still look at here, this opportunity. That's man-on-man. Up here, they're watching the guy high. And this player in the middle of the ice defensively is really watching out for Wagner right here. But watch where the confusion comes into play. Once he dips to the inside, now you get conversion. Player comes down, tries to help out on Singleton. This is wide open. And I believe Singleton is probably trying to slide it right over to this winger coming down or forward coming down for an opportunity. But it ends up being a broken play right here in between the circles, if you will. Once that happens, now you've got guys that can converge. Here's an opportunity. And right here, understanding he's sitting back, protecting the house, if you will, but really deep inside the blue line. But the broken play is going to make this all happen. And right there, Wagner, right on top of it. Larry, he jumps right on top of it in that point just to kind of clean it up. For me, again, it's 3-on-3. It takes, once you try and drive inside and guys collapse, there's your opportunity. Little deep coverage. Wagner finished it off to make it 1-0 Boston.
I liked that snap right to the top shelf.
Yeah, he jumped all over. That's where we said you got to be the skill player. That's who's on the ice in 3-on-3 in the NHL. You're going to see a blend of it. That's what all these guys possess. So now we're going to take a look at the next one coming up. Yeah, this is one thing, Larry, too. You can see somebody's coming late now. We don't have a high camera look. We're picking up like ice level between the blue lines. Can't tell if a guy makes a change and comes into a play, but you can see right off the bat the deep cut. Everybody's deep below, way below the blue line. So there's a lot of open space, and we talk about it in the NHL. If you give up the line and don't have a good gap, you're giving a guy who's coming with speed way too much room to make something happen. This is what's going to take place here. You've got Register in this position right here. You've got Register on the wall. Let me clear that first. You got Register on the wall right here. He's looking. He sees a guy coming late, and it's going to be Majera coming up right here. So you can see the play delaying right there. He's in full flight. He's got these guys standing still. Again, one more time, really deep. Nothing he can do. Once you split through, which is exactly what Majera does, and he's going to finish it with speed. Too easy right there. Again, it's a play that we talked about, Larry. When you come off him, if you're coming late, and again, I can't tell if there was a line change, why there was that much room, but when you give up a line, just like an NHL on a rush, you give up a line, you give the forward too much room to work with, that's what's going to take place. 2-0 Boston. They took full advantage of it.
And Jay, fans are definitely going to get a kick out of this because the penalty shot is a jailbreak, and it's unlike any other in hockey.
Yeah, Larry. Kaden Bohlsen, who we just had on, is a great interview. He's the guy taking the penalty shot. Once he touches the puck, that's when everybody jumps and goes. If the save is made, the play is still live. We're going to peek right here. You can see it. There's Bohlsen right there coming up ice. There's the save. And what you want to look at, it's a live puck right now. Again, Bohlsen, the save was made on Bohlsen. Watch how they want to turn it up right away for Philadelphia. They're going to go the other way quickly. What I like here in this spot, Look at the good work. Again, by Bohlsen in this position, he's working hard on the back check. He needs to pick it up to make it a 2-on-2 because there's a forward high. There again, one more time, right there, decision needs to be made. You let this forward go to your defenseman. You're going to pick up the guy wide. The 2-on-2 is covered. The one mistake we're going to see by Boston is that coming up the ice, the Philadelphia forward has the Boston player beat. He's going to come into the play right there. His stick is coming in. He's got the opportunity to make it a 3-on-2. They don't utilize the high forward. They try and take it to the net and watch what develops after that. Once you have this opportunity, I'm going to back it up a little bit, right there, once again, they're sealing off. They don't attack. They give the forward too much room right here, and he's going to score and bury it right far side or maybe 5-hole. They make it a 3-1 game late, but Boston comes away the winner. Larry, we talked about, is this what makes it pretty kind of magnificent about 3-on-3. We talked about it being man-on-man. Offense, they want to form, they want to create breakdowns, but if you break down defensively and make a mistake on the wrong side, opportunities are going to arise. Goaltenders have to be outstanding, Larry.
And the outstanding goaltender, Hunter Miska, number 35 for Boston, is the player of the game week 4. Championships are next week. We'll bring you some highlights. In the meantime, we want to ask you to follow us on social media as we get into football season 2. We've got a lot of great guests coming up. And we want to thank One Team Media and Brian Hess at the helm and Mark Coddington producing.
Also, I'd like to thank the Rourke Automotive Group. We've talked about it throughout the year. You got to check out their new building in Canonsburg. State-of-the-art, wonderful. So take a peek. But Dave Rourke and the Rourke Automotive Group, thank you. And Tom Grealish with Henderson Brothers, both title sponsors. We really can't thank you enough.
And learn more about what Henderson Brothers can do for you, your business. They have a lot of opportunities, hendersonbrothers.com. And Zero Res Commercial. Go to zerores.com/commercial. Use OneTeam15 as your promo code to save 15%. We thank you, and the Larry and Big Man Show, that's a wrap.